this too. Boink. Boink.
It's me.
Okay, I think everyone's not blinking. Oh, no, Linda's blinking down the bottom.
Oh no.
Marshall.
Okay.
You chose to sit on my cat.
I believe we're live.
On my lap. Cat.
Ah, I see us.
All right, I'm gonna start a recording just in case.
Oh, I can mute.
Because, you know, Twitch has decided to only keep one video for a short period of time now instead of 3 at a time. And, like, I think my stream keeps them, well, no, ours used to keep them for a long time and then I quit doing it. And all our settings say to save them, so I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to start trying to stream again, but like also back it up. Because I backed up some stuff, but when I had to reinstall everything, I lost all my old playthrough videos. I'm like, well,
there is a handy export button where you can throw them up on YouTube. Yeah. So that can serve as a backup.
That's what I should have done, but I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, oh, yeah, well, it's not a big deal.
Oh, by the way, when I had to go get the extra recording for Ember, I found our live recording of me teaching Ray how to crochet. There's just
oh, Lord, I forgot about that.
There's this one shot of us where your head is down, and I'm looking straight at camera. And I have this look on my face. I'm looking straight at camera. And I have this look on my face. And I'm looking straight at camera. So much. I can hear so much on my face. And I'm looking straight at camera.
Yeah.
I can hear so much on my face. And I'm looking straight at camera.
Yeah.
I can hear so much on my face. And I'm looking straight at camera.
Yeah.
I can hear so much on my face. And I'm looking straight at camera.
Yeah.
I can hear so much on my face. And I'm looking straight at camera.
Yeah.
Ember, make it stop.
I don't know how.
Ember, make it stop.
Trying to share the Facebooky things right now. Trying to share the Facebooky things right now. Trying to share the Facebooky things right now. All right. Trying to share the Facebooky. There. That's all I can do.
Yes.
All right.
Something was unmuted, and that was weird.
It was because
was really weird.
I had our stream open to try and share it because that's where I'm logged into Geek Grills. Because on the Mac, I'm logged in as me. So I was trying to share it from us on this machine, so it was playing through. But because of the settings, so you can all hear the bumpers and everything, anything that comes through my PC also goes through the mic. And so the delay on the stream.
Yeah. It was just playing over and over and over again.
Yeah, I'm trying not to laugh because I'm like, oh guys, this caused me giggle loop. Which just will make it worse.
Okay. I should be able to share. I tweeted it. Yeah, I can share this on the Mac from me because I am a page manager for us. I should capitalize her name. That would be the right thing to do. And it's Curie, not Cure. Doink.
Curie. I'm Curie. I think so.
Okay. We are saved on, or we are shared on Facebook and Twitter. And I guess it's time to go. Let me know when you're ready and I'll push the button for the music.
I'm ready.
We got perspective, we got the cool, we got the muscle, and you know we effing rule. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills, alright. got the know-how, we got control. We got the knowledge and we tell you how it rolls. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills. Alright! We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills tonight! Hell yeah.
Hello, and welcome to episode 176 of Geek Grills. The Geek Grills podcast is supported primarily by our patrons. You can find us at patreon.com/grills. I'm going to move my microphone closer to me. I am Linda, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ember.
Hello.
She's
I've
back!
returned.
And Ray.
Who we can't hear.
We can't hear.
No, you should hear me.
Now?
Okay.
Okay, you heard me earlier.
So, today's topic, happy birthday, Mary Curie, or just Mary Curie in general. But it is, her birthday month, so we thought we'd do another historic grill. And 'tis time for the Mother of Radiation. That's a really terrible title.
Ooh, eek.
Accurate.
But accurate. So, what have you grills been up to? Ember, would you like to go first? We haven't heard from you in a while.
Oh, right? Well, it was a long haul. I decided to jump into a really difficult job, being a field organizer for the Biden-Harris coordinated campaign. And my hours went up, and up, and up. And it went from like 55 to 65 to 68 hours the last week. Yeah. So that was crazy and roller coaster. Came out close. We did not turn North Carolina blue, but it certainly helped the popular vote and to inspire the people. And I got to work with a lot of young people. Normally I take a little more organizational, how do I put it? The last several jobs I've had, I'm kind of like the boss. I make the program. I'm not just being told what to do. And I had a boss who called herself a boss, which was a little different for campaign culture, but we had to talk. Our regional director was 20, maybe 3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that my new friend Jared, one of the fellow organizers, he lives near me, and he's a really nice kid. He's like 21. So yeah, I was working with a bunch of 20-somethings, and that was a trip. I learned a lot, and they got like my references, and I got theirs, and that was interesting and fun. I was treated with great respect for all of my years of experience in politics. And actually, one of them thanked me for mentoring him through this election cycle, which was really sweet. So yeah, my experience was valued, and I valued their energy. It's keeping me, propping me up, keeping me going, having my back. And I had the best team ever. So, and it gave me hope for the future. Like, these kids are smart and on it and inspired and like really, I mean, I don't want to go on about it because but it is my brand of nerd in so many ways. Like, coordinated campaign, I was part of politics when it started. Everything was usually done separately. Like, national does their thing and the state does their thing, and then the counties all do their own thing. And then years ago, we started doing it so like people need to coordinate better because we're duplicating efforts. And these kids were on it with handing over volunteer lists for all the people we recruited to the local counties to kind of keep them propped up and going in between election cycles when the national doesn't always send any money or help. So they come around election cycle and the counties are like, leave my volunteers alone. Mine. And those fights need to frickin' stop. I was also excited that we're unionized. They had benefits, severance pay. There's ongoing courses now on how to apply for unemployment, when your benefits go into until, and the Biden-Harris campaign nationally stepped in and said, we want to make sure all these organizers are taken care of because it is a temporary position, and threw another week of pay at us at 55 hours.
Nice.
So I am, going to be using that. I'll talk about later how I'm going to use part of that. So since then, it's been recovering. It's very much like Show Crash. I did go to a cabin in the mountains for 2 days after the election was over, but then the results were coming in and people were like texting me and congratulating me, which made me cry. And then watching the celebration made me cry because they had like a Zoom call in the background that I didn't find out until the next day I was fucking invited to. That would have been nice to know, but it was in my personal email because they had deactivated my campaign one already. And the diversity of the crowd celebrating, and they were all like wearing masks in their little pods in the drive-in. I was just like, I just kept crying. And they played that song, the Black Eyed Peas song, and I started crying. And then I calmed down and they started playing Prince, and I started crying. Rob's like, why are you crying? I'm like, because he's Minneapolis. That's why they did it. It's on purpose of George Floyd. So, but then it took a few days after that where it was very much Show Crash. You're like waking up and, what do I do? What do I do? And then just kind of start to feel a little depressed, and I'm like overhydrated because I'm so used to being worried about it. And but I'm almost better. I found a new game. Well, my husband found a new game. He started playing while I was working constantly. It's called Genshin Impact. It's kind of anime based, and it's mobile, and I can't believe it's mobile. This is a super rich, like Breath of the Wild rich world. Wandering around, questing, collecting stuff, cooking. It's incredibly detailed. And it is also available on PC and PlayStation. Because I was like, I can't believe this is all on mobile. And then I went through some instructions. I was like, or you could hit F5. I'm like, huh. But they really seem to have successfully made a game that works really well on all three of those platforms. And yeah, I'm loving it. Only been playing for a few days. And I'm making a ton of stuff because during the election, I got told by Coffee Lodge, where I have my little stuff in their country store, that they're going to have a vendor event. And I needed to have my inventory to them updated by today. So I have been kind of in a flurry the last few days, although I did get clarification. I just needed to have different price points. I didn't have to have how many of each item. It's so they can get it into their POS if I have anything different than what's already on the shelf there. So I kind of got that clarification and then made a handful of things yesterday, and I standardized my pricing so any bracelets and necklaces and scrunchies and masks I take will be at the same prices I have some at now. Which my necklaces are all custom made, so that's a little tricky with pricing. I'm going to be shorting myself a little, but that's okay. But I'm excited about it. It's going to be like 71 degrees, and I'm going to set up outside with my tent and be selling my wares again. I've got these really cool superhero masks now. I've had a fabric that if I cut out individual like pieces of the graphic, it's just enough to be like I've got a Green Lantern and Flash and stuff that are the whole mask. So
I got mine, by the way.
Okay.
I got it.
Is it like way too small?
No, it was fine.
Okay,
it was mid like election time. I was like, I'll wait till I see her to tell her I got it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I was actually mailing stuff that day. I ran out while I had time, and I mailed yours, and I made masks for some of my coworkers. Because everybody was so stressed out, and I wanted to send presents. I made Halloween masks. I was kind of the campaign mom. Did you eat? Mailing them masks and shit, you know. So what have you been up to, Ray?
So the WoW pre-patch came out for Shadowlands, because that's the new expansion that comes out right around Thanksgiving, so that'll work out pretty good.
We do not have a single machine in my house that will run it. I'm kind of pissed.
Yeah, my friend eons ago wanted me to play WoW with him, so he cobbled together one that would just barely run it. And as soon as Burning Crusade came out, I'm like, I need a new computer. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, that came out, so I've just been catching up on that. And I opened up $5 commissions because I want to try and like get some proof of work because I want to start doing Fiverr, which will again be $5 commissions, but they're like 30 minutes. Like you get 30 minutes of pencils, and then it's a hard stop. So that encourages me to keep it simple and not very detailed for sanity. And then I can spend all the time I want inking and coloring if you want colors. Don't get colors. I don't think I do colors.
Yeah,
very
that tarot
well yet.
deck I want that would need color.
I mean, I can because I also fell into an art like on Sunday I had an idea, and then I was like, oh, I'm listening to a playthrough of Game Grumps doing Doki Doki Literature Club again. Oh, it'd be cute to draw them, but like as girls in the literature club. That'll be cute. And Scott comes over, he's like, oh, you're going to do female versions of them, like their Game Garu. And I'm like, what is Game Garu? So I look it up, and it's basically a Dirty Pair, which is an anime from the 80s, inspired female anime versions of the Grumps. So I then fell into a hole, and
so cute.
It's
I love it.
out of focus, but whatever. It's on my Facebook, and it'll eventually be on Instagram once I've determined I am done. But literally all day Sunday, I was like, "Oh, I'll just sketch this. Oh, this is super cute." And like, I really like it. I didn't use a particular model. Like, I took like aspects of different things and made this cute little model where she's like getting a shoulder hug from her friend, and I'm like, oh, this is so cute. And I'm like, okay, I'll just ink it. It won't take long. Ink it. I'm like, oh man, I really like this. I'm gonna color it. Color it.
Take long.
All day Sunday was literally working on that thing, except for the background. The background was today after work because I had to work. So that is the weirdness of my weekend, and the only other thing I'm waiting for is it to stop raining so I can try and make bath bombs again. It's never going to get less than 40%. The humidity is going to be terrible. I'm just accepting that right now.
You have to go take a break and take a trip out to like Montana where there's no humidity. Make your bath bombs.
Nevada or Arizona, like just go into the desert.
I saw a really road trip. Funny idea that I don't want to steal it from the people because I thought they were going to do it, but I haven't seen the product come out of 2020 bath bombs and their toasters.
Oh. Yep.
But yeah, that's me. How about you, Linda? What have you been up to?
I have been working on more Dragon Blanket, which I actually I posted a picture that can be used for later up in our chat because it's big. I can't show it on screen because it's literally attached to about 20 balls of yarn. Because it's a pattern. It's gonna be a dragon like on a black background, it's a red dragon on a black background. So there's a picture up in our Discord that we can put somewhere else, I guess, of how big it is. So I'm still working on that. It's sparkle yarn, so it just makes me smile every time I look at it. I finished a commission for a Legend of Zelda rupee for one of my coworkers. It's for her brother. It was really fun, actually. It had a lot of angles. Like, I've never made an amigurumi with that many angles. But for those who don't know, a rupee it looks like a multi-sided like gem. It's a red gem. So That was a lot of fun as well.
Are you going to put it in a clay pot? It should be gifted
no,
in a clay pot that they
Or in a
have to
plant.
smash.
That's up to my coworker of how she wants to package that gift. However she wants. I started upcycling an old LARP dress. This is one I used for the Western LARP that we do, but it was my like year 0 character. So I have henceforth removed the sleeves, because it doesn't need them. I am deciding whether or not I'm going to do any like cutouts or like in the front. Probably not, because I'm very much into the cozy aesthetic. So I think if I just finish this off and sew the skirt, which was apparently coming undone and I never noticed when I wore it. But I haven't finished it yet because at the same time I decided to start upcycling the dress, I also decided to try to update my 1970s sewing desk. So it's one of the ones where it would fold open and your sewing machine would be tucked down into like this metal trap. I can't even really think of it's hardware. It's a bunch of hardware, and then you would like pull up the sewing machine and put it on top, and it would like click into place.
My grandmother had one of those.
It's great, except my sewing machine is modern and does not fit. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have the right hardware to like hook in and actually like swing down. So we've taken out all of the hardware, which has lightened the desk by about 20 pounds. And we're going to put a board on the underneath and bolt it in. So it'll be still in a little recession, like, but the sewing machine is like tall enough that if it sits down in the recession, that's fine. I still have plenty of room for like fabric to get around where the needle is. So we're in the midst of that. Right now, the board is sitting on top of the desk so that I can use my sewing machine. I have written this week about 5,000 words for NaNoWriMo, which is a little behind for, your supposed word count per week, but, I'm doing the best I can.
You're doing it, so
I'm doing it's SpongeBob. Doing it. I played some Star Wars RPG, which was a lot of fun. We get up to shenanigans in that game. It's just kind of nice and lighthearted. But if you want to listen to it, it's on the Polyhedron Plays podcast. Polyhedron podcast, but Polyhedron Plays. I'll get it, I promise. And then I've been practicing my calligraphy. Very slowly. I've been practicing away. You can see all of the A's that I have made. I can't tell if they're improving. I ended up like I have this little kit set that I bought really cheaply at Walmart, and I started with like the one that came in the pin, and I'm like, this is too thin. So I then had to switch it out for the thicker one. And I realized that I had done it wrong. And right before we started recording, I tried to put it in correctly, and I now have ink all over my hands.
Oh,
you do.
Ta-da!
Of course.
It's fine. I just pretend like I'm a 15th century apprentice. And I'm practicing my calligraphy. I'm hoping that at some point I'll like be able to write really fancy Christmas cards or something. And because I used to be able to do it all the time.
I was like really into it in junior high school.
It was college for me. Like I showed this to Ray last time. But like this is something I did in college. Is this like
fancy?
Yeah. Super fancy. yeah, that's what I have been doing. Lots of
Okay.
trying to be crafty. So, let us speak of our historic grill for this month. Mary Curie. Her birthday was November the 7th, so happy belated birthday, my lady. And she is basically the woman who discovered radiation. So she was born, oh boy, here we go. She was born Marie Salomea Sklodowska, November 7th. She was Polish and naturalized French physicist and chemist who conducted pioneering research on radioactivity. So, and she was born 1867, by the way. I don't know if I said that. So like I was just always very intrigued by the fact that she was basically being this pioneer scientist in like the 1910s, and she was a woman. Like that's not something you would like historically you would expect, because that was a field that was very much dominated by men. But here she was, and she was just like, look, radioactivity. And it's like, what? So
She was really smart, and she was
Yeah.
also like, so she went. I know she became a governess, and like she also made it a point to like self-teach herself with lots of books, so she could like go to university. I loved her. Like I still love her, but like
Yeah, but
she was like, you have to do a report on a famous woman. Like everybody would be like, oh, I'm gonna do. Oh God, my brain is fried. I was like, I'm gonna do Vody Lady, and I'm like, I'm gonna do Marie Curie. I want radiation.
it's interesting because her like family legacy, it says, as part of the Curie family legacy of 5 Nobel Prizes, she was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. I'm like, okay, so you've got some precedents here. She was obviously from a very like well-studied family. And my goodness, she was the first woman. She was the first woman to become a professor at the University of Paris as well.
And she was the first and is still the only person to ever win Nobel Prizes in 2 different fields.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, holy shit. Did you guys watch the that movie? Was it Netflix?
Radium Girls?
Yeah, no.
It was
Curie.
It was called Curie or Radioactive or something like that.
Oh,
I haven't watched anything in weeks.
I'm sure it's still on and you can watch it, and I may go ahead and watch that, but I didn't have the chance to.
Yeah, it's on Prime. It's called Radioactive. I quite liked it. It was really interesting. A lot of her personal life stuff too. I've read articles. I posted one in the chat about being a World War I hero and the work she did there. And apparently her daughter, who also became incredibly educated and inspired in the sciences field, dragged her into the war and how they could use technology to advance the way soldiers are being, getting surgeries quicker instead of just like writing them off because they just couldn't do it in time. And so that was really interesting. And I haven't read Radium Girls or whatever. I meant to, but I had to get back to the library and I had a job. But my son had to read it for school recently. And our local librarian, she keeps getting books from our book club, for one. She read the David Byrne Bicycle Diaries because I got it out. She's like, this looks good. And then I got Radium Girls for my son. And she's like, this looks good too. We must have the same taste in books. I'm like, well, this is actually an assignment for my son. But they do a little online book club book reports on what they're reading now from our local library, and she reviewed the book there and like gave us a shout out for introducing her to it.
Nice.
But it was, I do want to get around to it. Apparently these girls used to like coat themselves in radium.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a club thing way back in the day.
It was like a big craze when it was the first discovered, because they were selling radium coated clothing,
Watches, makeup.
Condoms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything to give you that natural glow.
It was a craze, and it wasn't real healthy, but nobody knew that. They were so infatuated by the fact that it made things glow. They were
specifically the radium girls that most I'm not 100%. I think the book also talks about the same ones are the ones who worked in the factory, and they would paint with the radium paint like onto the watch dials. Yeah, and they would have to be very precise and lick the tip of the paintbrush to get that
dip it in.
point.
Yeah, they would lick it, dip it in the paint the watches, lick it, dip it in the paint the watches, and that's how they got what's called radium jaw. And they got cancer right here because it was invading their jawbone and taking place of the calcium that was supposed to be there, because that's what happens with radium, is that it takes place of calcium.
I mean,
like
Marie
one
Curie
went to
knew
get
eventually.
a tooth removed and her jaw shattered because it was so weak.
I mean, Marie Curie, she knew eventually. She knew before she died that it was, making her sick. How stupid are humans, though? What are we, fireflies? Like, if it glows, it should be a fucking warning. Oh no, let's paint ourselves in it. Like, no, we're not bugs. We don't use lights to attract people. That is a warning.
Oh.
Shit doesn't just glow. Most things that glow, like fire. It hurts.
She I'm trying to see if there's, because she continued her research, but she knew the dangers, and she was trying to let people know about the dangers. But by then, manufacturing and these companies had gotten hold of it, and they were like, no, it's totally fine, don't pay attention to those women whose jaws are falling off.
Yeah, there were some interesting deals made early on, but she made like 20 mobile X-ray vehicles in World War One. Holy crap!
She did a lot with improving X-ray techniques, and she was like one of the first people to conduct a study about treating neoplasms with radiation. So first cancer treatments, basically. Which neoplasms is a word that I learned at my job. It's just, she did so much to pioneer just the study of like not only radium but other radioactive substances. And it's amazing what she did in her, relatively short life, because she died at 66. Because she was exposed to a lot of radioactivity.
Yeah, it was like a severe anemia.
I believe. Yeah, aplastic anemia from long-term exposure to radiation. So basically, like, her white blood cells just stopped.
Yeah, she was persecuted pretty badly in France, but stayed there. Even though she wanted to return to Poland initially. It was really interesting when the scandal broke, because she was having an affair with another guy who worked at the lab, and his wife wasn't too keen on it and like put it in the newspaper, and like mobs went to her house, and she almost did not accept her Nobel Prize in person, but was written a nice letter from Albert Einstein that encouraged her to go. So that's kind of nifty little.
Yeah, Yeah.
Mobs go to her house, but not to his house, where,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's how
Look
I
up
know.
interesting tidbits on Einstein. You'll be entertained.
Oh, yeah. I believe he was a ladies' man. Anyway, off topic.
Off topic. See.
There was one other thing I wanted to mention. I can't remember now.
Other tidbits do we have?
Well, she was, the whole thing started because, didn't she go to the college, and that's where she met, Perry,
Pierre?
that's where she met her husband, who was already starting to do research on, like, uranium, and then, like, she's like, oh, this is awesome, let me help you. So, like, for a while, they thought it was all him alone. He's like, no, this is a collaborative effort.
Yeah, my understanding is it took some convincing for her to work with him at all. But she just kept getting shunted aside, not taken seriously because she was a woman, until eventually she was going to have, she didn't even have a lab space. And he's like, well, you can come use my lab space. She's like, but you're not stealing my work. Like, she's just very adamant not stealing the work. And so when the big paper was being accepted or whatever it was and published, he insisted on having her name on it, which is unusual and good. Yes.
Good guy.
Yep.
Well, I feel like she might have done him some damage if he had not, but she strikes me as the type of person who is willing to go for it to get what she deserves and what she wants.
Yeah. I'm trying to see, I don't have the wiki open, if they have the stuff in there about France and what shits they were to her. Because she was eventually naturalized, I think, but it took her a long time because she really, really was adamant. Like, she had her kids learn Polish, got tutors and everything about, she was going to return. And France kept just denying her until she's getting the Nobel. And then they want to give her they wanted her to wear some kind of French ribbon of honor. And she's, no.
Yeah, now I'm French.
Yeah. How about no?
I don't know. I mean, Poland should be kicking themselves in the butt the whole time. Like, she was denied a place at Krakow University because, we don't allow ladies.
Yep.
Men are the only ones who are allowed to be intellectuals.
Yeah, they did the same shit to her. Like, nobody wanted to claim her until she's just undeniably. Oh, and what was it? She tried to, I think it was when she was getting funding for the hospitals. Although this was in the movie, so I don't know if it's really documented somewhere else. She tried to use her Nobel prizes, or her Nobel Prize, her first one, to fund getting into the war effort and getting those, like, 200 x-ray machines into mobile hospitals and shit. She was trying to get a loan, and the university wouldn't back her up, and the bank wouldn't help her, and she tried to give that, like, to use the Nobel Prize, and but you can't do that. Like, that's just not done. It's gold. I don't give a shit. Please take it. And she ended up getting the money, but she was really a hard ass about it.
Oh, yeah, no, it's right here. After the war started, she attempted to donate her gold Nobel Prize to the war effort, but the French National Bank refused to accept it. But she did buy war bonds using the prize money, so,
She's like, let me help you, damn it.
Banks. Doing what banks do. Well, you don't have enough money to get more money.
Have this gold medal. or statue, whatever it is. Have this gold statue.
Yeah, that doesn't show me that you have credit, so I'm going to deny you. No.
Well, they just couldn't take the shame of, like, taking it.
Yeah.
She totally shamed them into it.
They were like, oh, Lord. Oh, God. Oh, no, we can't do it.
I would have made it a media spectacle and, like, called up, like, every reporter and be like, come with me as we go to the bank and I turn in my Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
Shame.
I believe that's what she was planning to do. She had learned from being smeared by the press. how she could leverage it. Good girl. Good trouble. She was making good trouble.
She was making good trouble. Just sorry, I got to the point in the wiki where they were talking about the scandal of the poor beau. I mean, it's not great that they were having an affair. It's not good, but he was apparently like misrepresented in the tabloids as a Jewish homewrecker, and I'm like, oh, that's just mean.
Meanwhile, when I did my report in like middle school, the Encyclopedia Britannica had nothing about that.
Yeah, of course. Scandal? What scandal?
There was no scandal.
Well, she was pretty freaking amazing. So there's that, and happy birthday.
Yay, happy birthday. Oh, interesting. There was the Warsaw Scientific Society offered her the directorship of a laboratory in Warsaw, but she declined because she was focusing on the Radium Institute, to be completed in August of 1914, and a new street named Rue Curie. So she was appointed the director of the Curie Laboratory in the Radium Institute at the University of Paris. She visited Poland in 1913 and was welcomed in Warsaw, but the visit was mostly ignored by the Russian authorities. Oh,
imagine that.
Imagine that.
It's so funny. I was seeing here that in 1921, President Warren Harding received her at the White House and presented her with the 1 gram of radium collected in the United States. Like,
the 1 gram.
Poison.
Here you go.
Although, like, she slept with it under her pillow and stuff.
Look, what was it? The 1950s.
People that smart are bound to be weird.
Was in the 1950s there was the home radium kit that had an actual like gram of uranium, so you could do your own X-ray experiments at home.
Yep.
In the 1950s.
In the 1950s, it was those the science kits that you could buy.
Oh my god!
You can still buy science kits today, kids, but they don't have uranium in them
for good reason.
It came with a Geiger counter.
Yep.
It came with a tiny little Geiger counter, and you could put it over, and it would go click, 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 click.
But it makes a cool noise, so science.
You know what, though? The best fun tidbit about that, it didn't stop selling because radiation was dangerous. They stopped selling it because the kids found it boring.
Yep.
They wanted like mini explosions and the little clickies for that just wasn't hype enough for them, apparently.
Nope. It's it's dangerous stuff, guys. Proceed with caution. Do not play with it. Do not attempt to make your own reactor in your garage.
In your garage, don't do that. Let's just put this in perspective for you.
Now, I don't know
the level.
Go ahead.
The level of radioactive contamination of Marie Curie's papers from the 1890s are still considered too dangerous to handle. Even her cookbook is radioactive. Her papers are kept in lead-lined boxes, and those who want to consult them have to wear protective clothing.
Fun. Well, she discovered polonium, too. Which is apparently even more unstable an element.
Yeah, I believe because it's further down the chart, and the further down, the more unstable it gets, as far as the radioactive.
Yeah, it apparently has no stable isotopes.
No good. I mean, it's good because, I mean, you can use certain amounts for X-rays, very beneficial, you know. But yeah, overall, don't play with it unless you are a trained
A
I
professional.
love going to Google
with
and
safety equipment and lead.
I love going to Google. Yeah, and we want to eat a bunch of lead while we're at it.
Don't eat the lead. Don't lick the
pink the
lead.
boxes of
Don't eat
lead.
the lead.
I love going to Google. I love the people also ask, right? When you go looking for something like this, and it's like, yeah, I just looked up polonium. It's like, can polonium kill you? How dangerous is polonium? Can you buy polonium?
No, don't buy polonium.
What is the
Not
most
legally.
deadly element? That's plutonium.
So, if you all have thoughts and opinions, I mean, obviously we respect Madame Curie very much for what she did for like science and technology.
Women in science.
Women in science.
Yeah.
If you have any thoughts on your own on the subject, on radioactivity in general, you can drop us a line. So you can chime in by emailing us at geekgirls@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at geekgirls. Don't play with radium. Just don't. So what are you girls most anticipating coming up?
Just because it glows. It's not a
Just
toy.
because it glows. Get a glow stick. Don't eat it.
Yeah. So what else? What do I have to look forward to? A bunch of doctor's appointments. Yay. I had to keep putting things off because of the hours I was working. There's just no way I could do anything. I canceled some. I kept some. My dentist called me, and asked if we could come in. Called me on the Monday before the election and said, "Oh, we had some cancellations. You want to come in tomorrow?" Like on election day? No. Are you crazy? I'm working 15 hours. But I haven't even rescheduled that one yet. Excuse me. But I am looking forward to getting new hair. That's not going to happen until December. But the benefit of working long hours for so long and not going anywhere for so long is I have really long roots, and they're going to get longer because I can't get in until December. So I'm planning a vivid. I'm going to have my white streak and the underside done in either blue or purple. I have not yet decided. I can't decide. It was funny collaborating with the new stylist that I was referred to because she was like, so kind of like the Billie Eilish trend. I'm like, oh, really? Shit. Like, I just thought it was a cool idea. I made it up. Like, nope, it's been done, but that's okay. And with my extra surprise, I was going to use my severance, but now I really don't have to because I get that extra week of pay. During the election, my husband was going to become naturalized when Obama was elected, and we never got around to it because the money, it's very expensive. And the money and the time, like, they never coincided in all these years. So yeah, he's been living here for like 21 years almost, and he is going to get his citizenship. I'm gonna buy his citizenship for him, but it'll always be Canadian because they don't recognize the weird American thing where you have to renounce any other citizenship, become a citizen. Yeah, that's how dual citizenship actually works. For those of you out there who don't realize, it's just a loophole because other countries don't recognize that. The U.S. makes you renounce your citizenship to become a citizen here, but other countries are like, yeah, no, you were born here. Come on. So yeah, that's about it. That and the aforementioned vendor event. I'm super excited. That's next Sunday. For anybody who's listening, it might be local in North Carolina. We're going to be outdoors, distance, masks, and selling all kinds of cool local craft items at the coffee shop. Oh, and they're doing like barbecue. pulled pork, selling whole butts.
Ooh, wow.
Nom nom nom.
Is it this weekend?
No, the 22nd.
Okay.
You gonna come up?
And
I almost asked
well-
you guys if I could crash on your couch. I was so sucked into the campaign, and then they were offering us jobs. Like, do you want to go to Georgia and work the runoffs? And I almost fell for it because I was so ramped up still. I'm like, no, what are you thinking? No, but I have places maybe I could stay. No, stop.
One of my friends is already volunteering on that front, so
Awesome.
yep.
What about you, Ray?
Yeah, I've got a straw game finally on Wednesday. I'm super excited. Never played the straw D&D Ravenloft guy, so I've got a rogue halfling ready to go. Halfling because I've realized reading through racials they get lucky, and I'm like, I need anything that gives me the opportunity to re-roll my ones. I roll a lot of ones. I shouldn't statistically roll that many ones. So
I swear we're gonna get you a set of blessed dice one day. I'm just gonna bless it with sage. Be gone, one demons.
I should get you that T-shirt. I had a T-shirt that I saw come up in my feed. It was like, I have a plan, and then it was like a 1 on a 20-sider.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
famous
feel
last
that.
words. Yeah.
and then doing hopefully maybe more commissions if people want them. I did do one in color for friends, so I think I got the cute creepy going on, which maybe he loved it, so I was very happy. It's like a creepy broken doll character he had. So hopefully doing more of those and curse you hurricanes, stop so I can make bath bombs. Also stop because nobody likes you.
just stop. Just stop.
Just stop. What about you, Linda?
I am looking forward to running D&D on Wednesday. My players are. We figured out the percentage. They've gotten a bunch of the cards for the deck of many things that they're almost halfway there. So they've almost hit the 50% mark. And things are gonna go sideways real soon. That's gonna be fun for them and me. And then the reason I was looking very contemplative about what weekend Ember's thing was going to be is that I have a week off next week. I took the 3 days off before our lab is closed for Thanksgiving and the day after, so I have time, and I was like, could do up into that part of the woods because it's very pretty, and
It
there
is
is
beautiful. Over
and
toward
there's,
Asheville,
like, craft fair.
especially.
Yeah. So I think I'll give it some thought. So I don't know what else I'll do with my week off. Probably make things. I'll have made a wedding cake by the end of the week because I'll be bored. I don't know. A wedding cake out of yarn, I should specify. It'll be a wedding cake made out of yarn.
That makes more sense.
That makes more sense.
Yes, that makes more sense.
She would knit the cake, but then it would be hollow, so she could fill it with more like anagurumi yarn crafted things.
Sure. I mean, why not? People make diaper cakes, right?
They make a lot of weird cakes.
I'm gonna make a lamb cake. I got a lamb cake mold. I was super excited about because my grandmother used to make them.
My friend
cool.
has a dragon cake mold.
Ooh.
Lamb cake one. I'm just thinking back to that Facebook thread about the woman who bought a lamb cake, but it got smushed, so she tried to fix it, and it was like an epic cake fail.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to Google the hell out of this because I'm confused because it's 2 halves, and like if you had a cake that would rise enough to fill the top half, it would be too unstable, like flaky, and the head would certainly pop off. when you try to unmold it or anything. So it must be more of a bun cake type thing. But then do you cook it in 2 halves and then frosting it together? But it's got I can't do that either because it's got a little hole in the back of the head. So it would drip out. So I don't know. My grandmother's mold was cast iron, and I'm pretty sure it didn't have a hole in it. So there's some mysterious lamb cake method that I have to discover. But I want to do it so badly. Cover it with coconut, and it'll be all fuzzy. And then I can sacrifice it.
So that's basically what I'm going to be up to, hopefully. Maybe.
I hope you travel. It'd be cool to see you. Well, remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgrills on most Monday evenings. Our next one will be on November 23rd at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern.
And in addition to the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, we are supported by our amazing patrons, the greatest girlfriends on the internet. You can become a patron at www.patreon.com/grills. And don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free every month on Twitch.
I just did.
Yay!
21 months in a row.
Yay. And another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. Leaving a review is free, and they help our ranking, which helps other people find our podcast. I'll try that again. Also, you can join our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter if you'd like to help spread the word. So where can we find you on the interwebs?
I can be reached at 9of12, that's NINEOF12, on Twitter and Twitch. And you can hear me on the Heresy and Hearsay podcast after Barney recovers from the depression of the election for him. Yeah. Even though we won, he's kind of busted up about all kinds of stuff. So, but we'll be back.
You can find me on Instagram under Dappled Dame. And on Twitch as Ray I know, at some point I will have a stream again, I promise.
And you can find me on Twitch and Instagram under the name madcap_misc, that's MISC. And you can check out my website store, madcapm.com. Jen, you can find everything that the Jen does and says and everything at thejensays.com because she owns it.
Yes,
thanks for listening, everyone. Good game.
GG.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Skipped over too much of that. Oopsie. Sorry, Jen.
Somebody went in the chat and was like, looks like a feminist debate team meeting.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, what?
You know what?
Okay.
I should have said, thank you.
Sure.
Thanks.
I'll take it. I took your comment, Ray, and I put it in as a possible title. I think it was the only one suggested, and I'm fine with it if you guys are. Don't play with radium.
Play with radium?
Yeah, don't play with radium. That works.
What am I gonna... Oh, I don't want to write it on that. That's like a gift certificate. I scribble it down because I'll forget while I fight with my editing software. Although everything seems to be behaving right now. I'm hoping... I don't know. There's all these things I want to do with my last check, but after the citizenship, I might replace a computer, and if I do, it'll probably be the iMac. Because as much as the PCs are much cheaper, this fucker's throwing blue screens after maybe 4 years. And this Mac is 10 years old, and the only reason I'm not using it for streaming is because the processor is finally a little too slow for it.
Did we stop streaming?
No, because I'm looking at maybe rating. We'll see who's on. I'm not recording, but we are streaming. Night Attack is on. Raid with our whole 2 people.
Yeah, I think 10 years before I got rid of my Mac. To G4
So,
Tower, I
but-
got 99.
But speaking of commissions, Ray.
Yes, your icon.
And well, not only
Or-
that, I want my I would
Okay, I'm gonna stop the stream.
try that